Hello, everybody. Welcome to my experience podcast. For today, my name remains Joseph. I'm your host, and today we have our guest who is a regular guest to this show by name Taiwo. And obviously, you all know his profile. And like we said, we always bring him to the show to share his experiences, and because he has a wealth of experience that our audience benefit from. So we are very grateful to have you today, Mr. Taiwo. And how are you? How has been your week?
Mr. Joseph, thank you very much. Very well. Thanks for having me. It's good to be back. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you once again for coming. So just before when we're talking, and obviously being someone in your position who is a recruiting manager in a big firm, and it's not everybody that attend that position. How has it been like recruiting for Igbo? Like we have to say it.
Well, yeah, I think if you're a foreigner
Mm.
or how did I say it, immigrant,
Mm-hmm.
and you come into the UK and you are able to achieve your dream, or I'm not talking about those who, the few minority that spoil our name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about people who pay the price of time
Of time, yes.
and do everything they can to
Mm.
achieve their dream in this country. It always feels surreal. You begin to think, wow. Then you begin to ask yourself, where is racism?
Mm.
I think that's one of the first questions you begin to ask yourself. So, where is the racism? Am I doing everything right, or is it just what we Nigerians call favor of God? Maybe it's just favor, or is
Mm.
because of the prayers I've been praying and all that. All
Mm.
those things are part of it. But it's not just that, because even the Bible says that prayer without work is dead. And the
Yeah.
work, as far as this particular area is concerned, the work there
Mm.
is you understanding where you are, understanding the country, the culture. Like as I was saying before we started this program, that for me, now I'm going to upset a lot of people by this statement. I don't see racism in the UK. I do not see it.
Mhm.
And I say that without taking away other people's lived experience.
Mhm.
So, if somebody say they see racism, I'm not disputing that. I'm
Maybe
talking
it's,
from
it's,
my own,
it's
yeah.
subjective.
Yeah, I'm talking from my own personal experience.
Yeah.
I have seen what you could call unfair treatment,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably as a result of my own error of omission or commission, or purely just because somebody doesn't like me. And when I say the person does not like me, I fail to I fail to see that my skin color has something to do with them disliking me, because I've worked in Nigeria before, in Nigerian National Assembly
Yeah.
in Abuja, where I had a manager that didn't like me.
Yes.
So
And it's not a
he
white
wasn't
man.
white. He was a black man. And I worked with colleagues who didn't like me for
Mm.
whatever reason. And I
Yeah.
worked with those who really genuinely care for me.
Mm.
And the same thing here. I've worked with white people that genuinely like me. I
Mm.
work with white people that don't like me. And it would be very difficult for me to say they do not like me because of the color of my skin. I
Yeah.
think a lot of them probably do not like me because I fail to understand the
Mm-hmm.
culture of this country. And I would like to delve into that a little bit if you don't mind.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. You can go ahead.
Right. I will ask you this question again. Do you know about the culture? I mean, the a particular ethnic nationality in Nigeria called the Igbo people.
Yeah, I have heard about them, but I don't know much about their culture.
Okay. Do you understand a single word in their language?
I don't think so.
But you've lived with them before
Yeah, yeah, of course.
in your neighborhood and all that. Okay, good. In fact, you are one of the very few Nigerians that have asked these questions, and they said they gave me that kind of answer. I mean, as in saying that they've lived around their neighborhood before. A lot of people,
Hmm.
they will say, "Oh, I've never even heard of them." But you have heard of them, but you don't know anything about them. And the
No.
reason is this: it's simple, because they are minority.
Yeah.
In any country of the world, in any society, the majority don't bend the rule for the minority in terms of culture.
Hmm.
So the minority have to speak the language of the majority. That's how it's been from time immemorial. It's just like you now marrying a Japanese woman who has 5 children before you met her
Hmm.
and you got married. What language do you think you guys should be speaking?
English.
English. You think 6 people will change, will try to learn English just because of one person? Or you will try to learn Japanese?
If
Which
we're
one
in
makes
the
sense?
no, if we're in
Yeah, yeah. You are in Japan, or you went to marry a Japanese woman in Japan. Maybe I didn't frame that question well.
Mhm.
You went to marry a Japanese woman in Japan who has 5 kids, and would you say they have to learn English, or
No,
you
no, no.
have to learn
I
Japanese?
have to speak Japan.
Exactly. So the majority, always, like Nigerians saying, majority carries the vote.
Carries the vote. Yeah.
Do you see? And
Yeah.
it's the same in democracy. Some people, millions of Americans voted for, what's her name?
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Yeah, Kamala Harris. Millions
Yeah.
of Americans.
Americans.
But Kamala Harris is not going to be their president.
Yeah.
The Trump that those people didn't vote for is going
Mm.
to be their president, whether they like it or not. So what happened to the minority? The
They have
slight
to
minority
follow
that
the.
voted, they have to bow down to Trump
Yeah.
and
Yes.
accept him as their
As their president.
president. That's what happens if you're a minority. Your vote no longer counts. So in this society, what I'm trying to say is that when you are in any society, it is your responsibility as the minority to understand the culture of where you are. It is the majority will not break their status quo. The already functioning culture and belief. They're
Mm.
not going to break it just because of you.
Mm.
You, it's just like when you travel to Japan, there are some traditional
Mm.
hotels in
Mm.
Japan,
Mm.
where is completely traditional Japanese culture. If you're a black person and you go there, they are less likely to turn you down.
Mhm.
And it's not racism, it's because they don't understand how to serve you.
Mhm. Yeah.
And they're not going to change for you. So you have to make it clear to them that you understand their culture, you understand what is going on, and you will be happy to be served. So in
Mm.
a way, you are buying the comfort that the tradition of that society offers.
Mm.
If you want to be comfortable in this country, you have to buy the comforts.
Mm.
Imagine you as a Nigerian, you travel to Ghana and you live in Ghana and you
Mm.
decide to look for only Nigerian friends.
Mm.
Do you think you'll be successful in Ghana?
Of course not, because it's not Nigeria.
It's not Nigeria. So you have to be successful in Ghana. You have to make Ghanaians your friends.
Mm.
You have to understand the Ghanaian culture.
Mm.
You have to look for opportunities in every area of Ghana.
Mm.
You understand? So you have to abide by their rules, if Ghanaians don't like, if Ghanaian, for example, I don't know, I'm just saying this, making this up. If Ghanaian prefer people to greet them standing up,
Mm.
then you'll be doing yourself a disservice if you're greeting them sitting down. You're gonna have problem.
Yeah.
It will be very silly for any Ghanaian that want to be successful in Nigeria, for example, to travel to Nigeria and be looking for only Ghanaian friends, Ghanaian people. And this is exactly what we do in the UK. You see our Nigerian brothers and sisters, they come into the UK,
mm.
they move to a place, they say, I don't like that place. Only white people are there.
It's silly
They are
because
forgetting that they are doing themselves a serious disservice.
yeah,
They say, only by black people there. Then they will go and move to a highly a place that is highly populated by black people.
mm,
They will go
mm,
and move there.
mm,
And then 20 years they're living in this country and they still don't understand the culture of the country.
mm,
You are more
mm,
likely to cry racism because you don't
mm.
understand them. You've
Yeah.
shielded yourself away from them. I was in a program last year and I was talking about this, and I told somebody, I asked them, I said, how many of you have white friends? Not a single one of them have a white friend that they have the number on their phone. I said,
Mm.
imagine a Ghanaian living in Nigeria does not have a single white, does not have a single Nigerian friend
Nigeria,
on his phone. How is he going to succeed?
you see.
Tell me, you are in Lagos as an Igbo man
Mm.
and you don't have a single Yoruba friend. How are you going to succeed?
Yes.
How? So I said, you see, we put a barrier
Mm.
between us and the society where we live.
Where we live,
We
yes.
eat Nigerian food.
Yeah.
We live in Nigerian community.
Yeah.
We do Nigerian jobs because we
Yes.
stay away from any job. We always think we are safer. Imagine when people are looking for immigration, they're looking to rectify their immigration thing in the country.
Yeah.
They'll be looking for Nigerian lawyer, forgetting that they are doing themselves serious disservice. You are more likely to be ripped off.
Yes. That is true.
You are most likely to be ripped off. And, I don't even want to talk about that because it would take me, the whole hour.
Yeah.
Now, now, the problem is that we limit ourselves by association.
Yes.
We limit ourselves. Many of us don't even eat English anything. Well, I don't know if there is English football. Anything foreign food in this country, we do not eat.
Mm.
We don't go to their restaurants. We do everything. So we are used to what we are used to in Nigeria. And then because of that, you won't be able to see any opportunity in this country because you are not looking UK from UK perspective. You are looking at UK from Nigerian
From
perspective.
Nigerian perspective, yeah.
So you automatically block every single opportunity that you could see. And that's why a lot of us don't even understand there are civil service job there, or there's
Mm.
this job there's this job there's this opportunity here. There are things. Me having a Jewish friend exposed me to a profitable business.
Mm.
Me having friendship with Asian people exposed me to another business that is also profitable.
Mm.
Me being exposed to English guy who does business exposed me to a new business recently. You understand that
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have ventured into if I am in close proximity
Like
to
close
my own
circle.
people only. And when you think about it, even with the black community, there is not a lot of opportunity among us. There is
There
not a lot of
no.
opportunity.
No. Because
Yeah.
here is not our country. Even any opportunity will still link you outside of that circle.
Of course. So the opportunity that will remain within that circle is very small. And a lot of those opportunity, I hope I hope I am not going to offend people too much. A lot of those opportunities are dodgy. If it is
Yeah.
completely within our community that doesn't cross the border
Mm-hmm.
to the majority, they are dodgy.
Yes, yes,
You
you're
know,
correct. Yeah.
it's
We
so
just have to be honest because
I just don't want to, because I know our people can be very sensitive sometimes. We use
yeah.
emotion to make judgment. We're not objective sometimes, and we don't
Mhm.
like people with different opinions.
Yes.
We don't like it. We don't like it very much. So that's why I'm a little bit careful. There are loads of opportunity in this country.
Mm.
There are loads of opportunity in this country if you can associate yourself with a wider society. But we find it difficult to do that. We think it is safe.
To
If
stay where
we,
you are.
yeah, to remain in our own community, then there's no point coming into the UK.
Mm.
If you come into the UK or to Europe, any part of Europe, and you are sticking only to your own community, then there are other opportunities outside of, in fact, there are more opportunity outside of your community, because
Yeah.
the vast majority of the people living in the UK, for example, are not your community.
Yes.
Your community is a minority. So, so if there is 100 opportunities and you are 10%, it will be reasonable to assume that you only have 10 opportunities and the
Mm.
majority will have 90 opportunities.
Mm.
So if you are within the minority who represent 10% of the community and has 10% of the opportunities,
Mm.
then it would make sense for you to associate yourself also. I'm not saying you should leave your community, but it will make sense for you to also associate yourself with the bigger community so you can have more opportunities.
Mm. So, in your experience, I know a lot of people disagree with that particular comment that you don't see racism because it's a subjective stuff. Everybody's experience is different, but if you narrow it down, our experience sometimes is a preconceived ideas because when you come, a lot of people will plant some things inside your mind, and 99 times out of 100, you have something. When you go, you'll be looking for those things that you have been told, and
Mhm.
you will definitely see them.
Definitely. Yeah. You will see them. You will see them. That's the problem. I remember a long time ago, I was telling someone, you could get a job in the civil service. He said, get a job in the civil service. I said, yeah, there is a lot of job in the civil service. It's a civil service. I said, yeah. He said, UK civil service, get a job. Oh, do they employ black people? And I was like,
No,
yeah. He said, I have never seen the adverts.
mm,
Civil service, how? But I'm not British citizen. I said, you don't have to be a British citizen. Even if you have 1 year stay and you are Commonwealth citizen, for example,
yes,
you will be considered and all that. And it was like, really? I said, yeah, I work in the civil service. I think I met the guy on the train and we were talking. And you know me, when I meet our people and I'm talking, I like
yeah,
to have meaningful conversation and
meaningful conversation.
and talk. And the guy, and that was some long time ago. I've just started working in civil service then, and I was he was surprised. Not only that, in
Mm,
many of my seminars, I find quite a large number of people
mm,
surprised that they could actually get a job in the civil service.
civil service.
And now, who are the majority in the civil service? White people, because they are
Yes,
the majority in the society.
yeah, they
It's
come.
just like when you go to Nigeria, Lagos State civil service, for example, the majority will be Yoruba people. If you go to Anambra State civil service, the majority will be Igbo people.
Igbo
So it's
people. Yeah.
common sense. So, and if you don't associate with those people, it will be very difficult for you to understand that this is how you can get a job there.
Mm,
You understand? I'm sure
mm.
there are lots of people that are working in
In
civil
Lagos.
service in Lagos.
Yeah.
And I can almost guarantee you that those people associate well with Yoruba people.
Yeah, mostly a lot of Igbo in Lagos has is been like as old as Lagos. So
Yeah. So not just that, you can be in a country as old as that country and not associate yourself.
yeah,
You can ostracize yourself from a society if
yeah.
you want.
Actually, that happens to me. I grew up in Lagos, and 85% of my friends are Yoruba. Mostly people that I grew up with, but I'm not fluent in Yoruba. Yeah, because I didn't consider it. Okay, my mind was not there.
Mm,
Sometimes I don't speak Yoruba, but I grew up in Yoruba. I live in different, even in typical villages of Yoruba land.
mm,
But yeah, I lived when Ikotun was the very, very when when they do Oro in Ikotun was the village, like village, proper village. When you are walking, you will see shrines in some
Mm,
corner.
mm.
I lived in Ikotun. I lived in a place called Ijoko
Ejoko, yeah.
in Ota.
Yeah, I
Then
know Ota very well. So you should
that
know
place,
Adodo.
yes, that place is, I don't know, it's like, it's typical village. Like,
Yeah, it's still village up to now, I believe.
so I live but I'm not. So what you are saying, I can
You
relate.
can, yeah, you can actually, you can ostracize yourself from a community.
Yeah.
You it's very easy to do. It's very easy to do, and it kind of, it it blinds you from some opportunities. There are so many things they can really, you can, that will, that will be a disadvantage to you as a person.
Mm,
I see a lot of, when you go to in fact, I went to this place in Manchester not long ago. I went to do my NIN. That was the
mm,
first time I got there. I will
mm,
go there.
mm.
The place called Moston in
Mustang. Yeah, I know.
Manchester.
I know Mustang.
My brother, I was walking on the street, and the
Mm.
barber was coming out to ask me to come in. You know how we do in Lagos? Hey,
Yeah.
brother, come in, come in, come in, come and cut your hair. Come in, come in. And people will be calling you. People will be. It's so. I was like, wow, this is
Like you are,
Nigeria.
like you are in Balogun
Like,
market
very disorganized,
environment.
extremely disorganized place
Mm.
where people want to hijack a potential customer from
Custom.
their, uh,
Mm.
people pretending they are standing outside talking, but they're actually looking for customer. And once they see you are a black person, automatically they think you are a potential customer, and they want to drag you inside their shops and all that.
Mm.
I found it was so embarrassing. I was like, wow. Now, if imagine a child grew up in that kind of environment,
Mm.
he would definitely have that Nigerian mentality.
Yes.
His attitude will be completely. I'm not saying that Nigerian mentality is bad. There's nothing wrong in that. What I'm saying is that when you have somebody with Nigerian mentality living in Europe and refuse to get rid of that mentality or put it somewhere,
Mm.
you're going to run into trouble because
Yes,
the
of course.
culture here is different.
It's different. Yeah.
You see, that's why you see, I remember, I was watching some video a few weeks ago on, somebody sent it. I think it's on, I don't know if it is Instagram or I don't know, one of these platforms. These young Nigerians, like 40-year-old men,
Mm.
you know, coming with COS, coming the new jackpot people,
Yeah.
talking to 14-year-old girls online,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and the
think I.
police, and so, because the person still thinks he's in Nigeria. Because in Nigeria, you are most likely to get away with things like that.
With
I'm not
things like
saying
that.
that Nigerian
Condole it.
society condones it,
Mm.
but you are most likely to get away with
To
just
get
talking
away.
because
Yeah.
you have not done,
Anything.
understand, you have not
Yeah.
done anything. So just talking. But here, just talking alone can land you in jail.
Yes. Because it's grooming.
Yeah, exactly. Do you
Yeah.
see the difference? So his excuse was like, oh, he's just talking. He hasn't done anything. Nigerian mentality.
Yeah.
And there are many videos like that, not just him. There are many videos from
Yeah.
people from Zimbabwe. I've seen a guy from Zimbabwe who just came newly. I think that was like last year or 2 years ago. Just came into the country newly, and went to see this girl coming out of the bus.
Mm.
He landed in the hand of police waiting for him.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
eh, So what I'm saying is that if a child grows up in Peckham, his mentality, or in Mustin, for example, the way I see, that child is most likely to try to jump queue
Yes.
in a place where he will find himself strange if he goes to somewhere like Cumbria.
Mm. Yeah.
He will feel strange. He won't feel comfortable. He will feel like he doesn't belong in the same society. I'll give you.
Sorry, let me just cut you there because this has probably gone to another dimension of what we prepared. Do you think this what you are talking now? Do you think this mentality? Do you think it have effect on the majority of our black kids in this
Of
country?
course, of course, of course. Now, I give you, I've seen this so many times. When you have a typical Nigerian parent, especially those who are not very educated or what some Nigerians call educated illiterates. You know, in Nigeria
Mhm.
we call some people educated illiterates.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And with their children, people who have refused to accommodate the English values and
Values.
culture, who
Yes.
have refused to associate with the English or the British values and culture,
Mm.
and their children are completely different from those who, while protecting their culture, they
Mm.
respect and accommodate the British values
British.
and culture. You can see the difference,
Yeah.
in the way they talk, in the way the children see life, the things they say. Imagine the white people, the
Hmm.
white people in this country, majority of the girls, you hear this from our African brothers that
Hmm.
if you don't want to be spending money on a woman, go and marry a white woman or go and date a white woman. Is that not
Hmm.
true? I don't know if you've heard that before.
Yeah, I've
That they'll
heard it
say,
much
dating a white girl is cheaper because
it's cheaper
they don't ask you for money.
for
If you
money.
go out on a drink, they divide.
They,
Now, a lot of black kids that grow up with typical African family see the same thing their parent do.
hmm.
They are exactly the same as black kids that grow up in Africa. In
Yes.
fact, they ask for money more than the black kids that grow up in Africa. They are
Yes.
exactly, even though they are born here, they are British, but they have not actually imbibed the British culture.
Yeah.
Now, I used to date a girl, a black girl, Jamaican girl, back in the days, born and bred here. The grandparent came here in the 40s so the parents were born here.
The Windrush. Yeah.
Yeah, the Windrush. And then the parents were born here, but
Hmm.
then she was born. So she's like the third
The
generation.
third generation
You cannot tell the difference between this lady and the white girls,
girls.
except for the skin color. The mentality, the behavior, and everything is
Yeah.
exactly the same. If you compare that girl with another black girl, you are making a big mistake. So, because a typical black girl born and raised by African parents who have not really imbibed the
The way
British
of life.
culture, who have not really adopted the British culture while keeping theirs,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not saying throw away your culture, but understand where you are. You will see them, they ask for more, they ask for money than the typical black African girls living in Nigeria.
Living in Nigeria.
They will make your life hell. They will tell you exactly, they look at you before they go out on a date with you. They want to see what you are driving, what you are wearing, how much you are
Yes.
earning.
Yes.
Where a typical British white girls, well, I'm not saying all of them, but
All of
vast
them.
majority of them
Vast majority.
don't think about how much you're earning.
They don't even care for what
They
you
don't even care how much you earn. You can't really entice them with money.
Yeah.
You can't. It's very difficult. It's either they like you or they don't.
Yeah.
So this is to tell you the dynamic. When you see a black girl that doesn't behave like that, go and check the parents. You will see, you can tell that, okay, I understand. It's
Mm.
either like my missus, she's black. She's from Congo.
Hmm.
They were born here. But the parents were not super educated, like, with all the degree. No, no, no. They're just normal people
Mm.
who adopted, who respected the British culture, who allowed, in fact, they didn't even allow their children to learn French.
Mm.
They said we are in England, and they make sure that their children only speak their language, Lingala, and English.
English.
They didn't teach their children French. They
Mm-hmm.
said, we are in England. You will speak English. They make sure that their children understand English. When I met my missus, I was surprised. Up to today, my missus never, up to today, I'm telling you, doesn't ask me for money. We sit down, we look at things, we do things together. We don't our relationship is not based on how much I'm earning. Do you see? We've never had any issue about money or my missus. If you see my missus, you probably, she doesn't have a single designer clothes or bag. I don't either anyway, but that's to tell you I'm not saying she's the, well, I can say, in fact, I think she's the best woman in the whole world. So I'll go as far as saying that. You
Yeah.
know, but I've dated quite a few British born black women that
Mm-hmm.
the problem you will have a lot of the time, it stems from money. Either they ask you for money, or before you talk to a Nigerian girl, a lot of the time, especially the one that come into the country or the one that grew up with their parent who shut out with the British cultures and
Culture.
value,
Yeah.
the first thing they ask you a lot of the time is, my house rent is, or my phone is bad now, or things like that. I've never experienced that with my missus.
Mm.
Never, not once. If not for the color of our skin,
Mm.
if my missus is talking, if you talk to my missus and you try to listen to her values or what she believes and things like that, you think she's white.
She's white.
uh, you know
Mm.
but if she switch and start speaking in Lingala, you will be surprised.
Yeah.
you know she is not the type, you never see her on social media, never.
Yeah, because she's not. The thing is, when we have this mentality that I want to impress, I want people to see me, I want to oppress. We have
Yeah,
impress, oppress,
that's what
and
success means:
yeah,
to
what?
oppress people, to show off,
Yeah,
to let people know that I have
they
arrived.
have arrived.
And in fact, you see it on social media every day. How we bought our first house in England after 2 years.
My brother, that thing irritates me. Irritates me, to be honest.
How we bought our first house, how we got our visa, how we bought. God has done it. We just bought our
You can
Land
imagine.
Rover,
Yeah,
our Range Rover,
yeah.
and you know,
That is so many times you see people buy cars in Nigeria, and in fact they jubilate, they throw party, they say
yeah,
thank God.
because it's accepted. That culture, it is accepted in that culture. I have a lot of white friends who I have never seen them say they bought this thing or they
Mm.
bought this house on. I've never seen them post
No,
anything like that. I
no.
have many of them. In fact, one of my friend is a football coach,
Mm.
and the wife is you know somebody in, doing, well, I don't want to mention the, but in a very high ranking individual, but you
Mm.
will never know. They don't post anything like that.
Yeah.
I've never checked my WhatsApp. One day I see them post something of that nature. I remember recently I bought a table,
Mm.
or all those plastic foldable table they use
Yeah.
for party. I bought it on eBay, and it was collection only. And I went to
Mm.
this place to collect it. Only £15.
You see.
My brother, when I went to this house, is in the middle of a field, a mansion. About 4 Range Rovers are there. And I'm like, why can't this woman say, my son, just take it for free? And I came back, I was telling my missus, I said, look at these people. She still put this thing online for 15 quid. No, £18. I tried to say 15 quid. She refused. Two Range Rover, one Lotus, and one Tesla.
You see.
4 cars parked. That place, and then they have another building next to that, to their house, which is like a hotel that they
Mm.
manage, because I engage her in conversation. I talk
Yeah.
to them. And say, they say, they manage their own hotel by themselves in the middle of nowhere in Preston. Very beautiful. They have their own. You see, when you come off the main road, The road that lead to their house, that is their own road. It
It's a
doesn't go anywhere else.
private road.
Private road. It doesn't go straight. When you go on that road, you go straight to the front of their gate and they open the gate for you, you know?
Mm.
And I was like, wow. And this person is selling this one now table that she's had for many years for 18 pounds. 18 pounds.
Yeah,
Nigerians say, I'll take it.
because
Take it.
I'm rich.
Because I'm rich. No, you collected and gave me my £2 change.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and I've seen that many times. I was curious. I started engaging. Oh, she said she now took me to the back where she had loads of the table. She said, oh, go on. I said, oh, you have, in fact, I asked, that was how the conversation started. I said, do you have more of this? Oh, actually, I have quite a few. He said,
Mm.
do you want to have a look? I said, yeah. And he took me to the shed.
Mm.
And they opened it loads. I said, you've got so many that I needed some fun. I need to go back next week. But those ones are very long. They are not foldable ones. So you need a van. So I need to take my van there. And she said, yeah, we used to do catering. So these are to serve, we put clothes on top of them and we have too many of them, but we don't do catering anymore. So we just want to get rid of them. And she put them one by one, one by one, one by one. You say, oh, if you want, I say, oh, I'll come the following next week because this is just this week. I think I went there on Monday. I said, my van is at the mechanic, so I won't be able to come for the report next week. Once I get because in fact, the thing I needed for the van just came yesterday, so I'll take it to mechanic now, so they fix it. And I was just wondering, I said, wow, these people, 18 pounds.
And they are rich.
And they are rich. 2 Range Rover, 1 Lotus, 1 Tesla, packed in their garage. Imagine that. You see, the mentality is completely different.
Different, yes.
The mentality is completely different.
Mm.
So, and if you want to live and be successful in this country, I think you need to be a little bit open to British cultures and values and tradition and, the way they do things, the way they think. Otherwise, you will misunderstand them.
And
And
call it racism.
yeah, and then you will call it racism, You will call everything racism. I've had problem at work where I've had problem with managers, before. I remember there was a time, my first time I had problem with manager, I actually thought it was racism.
Mm.
Years after I understood it wasn't actually racism, because think about it, I've had managers in Nigeria that didn't like me and created a very difficult environment for me. So just like that, my manager. And one thing I realized was that it was my own fault because I didn't understand the culture of the working environment here, the culture of the British people. It's just like if you are talking to a British person now at work and you say, I hate Halloween. Do you think they will like you?
No,
They're
because
not. It's their
Halloween,
culture. The Halloween is something they hold in high esteem. You might not like it. But when you now say, I hate Halloween, it's just like you go to Yoruba people in Nigeria and you are Igbo and you are telling them, I hate Lagos State.
And you are there.
Yeah, and you are there. Imagine somebody said that online recently, and a lot of people reported that to her workplace. And I think they said she got sacked. She said Lagos State is very dirty, and she lives in Lagos. She works with a company in Lagos, and she's saying Lagos State is very dirty. She hates Lagos State, and she put that on social media. Yeah, in fact, I read it myself, and people started bombarding because you can't hate what the majority love.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to show respect in a society. It's just like going to Japan and tell them you hate their food. You may not like their food, but you can't use those strong words.
Those strong words. Yeah, because
You can't.
you cannot.
Or you go to fish and chip shop in this country that's mainly eaten by white people, and you tell them, I hate fish and chip. What is this? This is not good. and you expect them to like you. They say, "Oh, well done, my brother. Well done
For hating us.
for hating our." You've created it. There's so many things like that we do at work. I know this is just an extreme example, but there are so many language we use because the British are, I would say, they're probably more diplomatic than us.
Yeah.
They can tell you you are silly, you're stupid, without telling you you are stupid. That
Mm.
if you are not careful, you even smile at them, but they are telling you are stupid. But there is a way they talk.
Mm.
There is a way they talk that you could, they can have serious conversation with you, serious argument
Raising their voice or
without raising
making
their voice.
you feel out of place.
Yeah, without raising, they can do that. We can. The moment I disagree with you, I want my voice to be higher than yours.
Yeah.
It's normal with us. Look, even with our politicians, it's on TV and things like that. We will see. Here it's very. You don't see it often. That's why I'm not
Often, yeah.
saying that it doesn't exist, but you don't see it
You
often.
don't see it often.
And that's the difference. So a lot of the things, especially at work, I do a course on that to my leadership training
Mm-hmm.
about how you can make your place of work more pleasant with the
Mm.
language you use. And a
Yeah.
lot of this language that I talk about is more to do with British culture, how
Mm-hmm.
these people think. You know,
Yeah.
when you do that, you will realize that your working relationship with people around you will be much, much better,
Yeah.
will be improved. And the reason why we don't learn it, my brother, is not because we are not intelligent. It's just because what we discussed earlier, we shut ourselves out.
But yeah.
So we don't even understand it. We shut ourselves out. Some people, when they come into the country, some people have been here for 20 years, for example. They'll say, if you tell them that English, if you talk about English breakfast and talking, say, do you know what is called pudding? They don't know it.
Yeah.
They don't know it. They'll tell you what is English breakfast. They don't know it. So imagine you are living in a country where you want them to accept you, but you
Mm.
refuse to accept them.
To accept them. Yeah.
Who is racist? When you refuse to accept them, you refuse to accept their culture, you refuse to accept their way, you run away from their community.
Yeah.
You don't want to go and live in Cumbria. You don't want once you I remember a friend of mine who came
Mm.
from Nigeria went to live in somewhere in he went to look for a property in somewhere in Manchester.
Mm.
And then for me, I said, Alpha, did you see the house? Blah blah. He said, I don't want to live in that place. I said, why? He said, do you know I walk around the whole place? I can't see a
Mm.
black person. I said, and so he said, me, I can't live there. Oh. No, 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 no.
With not no reason.
No reason other than so who is racist? Yeah. You see white people in a community and you refuse to live there. Nobody has done anything to you. Nobody has said anything to you. You practically
Take
remove
yourself out
yourself
of, yeah.
out of that community.
Yeah, just like what you are saying. The last place I lived in, Leicester, very nice place. It was, I think probably we are the only black people in that community. Very nice. And if you live among those people, they are very, very caring. Somebody will come and knock on your door and give you potato because that place we were living close to the village.
Very
There are
fun.
a lot of
Yeah.
farms. This guy, this old man is retired. He will go around in the morning, make sure that the whole neighborhood is clean. He cleans them, pick all the things.
Same thing here.
Yeah,
But beside the potato, that's
yeah.
what I experience here.
He will go, he will give you potato, he will find something for you, he will come and collect the bean.
Yeah. My
Come and
neighbor will go
give
out and with the children, they'll be
yeah,
picking out the rubbish on our street.
the one very
I used
clean
to be the only
environment.
black person on this. Me
Yeah,
and my family, we used to be the only black before other people came in. We used to be the only black person here. If I'm traveling, I will knock on their, oh, I'm traveling. They say, okay,
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's it.
But it's because when some of the people that we have met, people have built some this is how these people is. Then that person will tell another person.
Yeah.
That person will tell her without even knowing these people. You have already
we've already made assumption
yeah.
that,
So
and that assumption to us is a fact.
yeah,
We believe it's a fact that these
yeah,
people, they don't like us. How
yeah.
do you know? How do we know who is racist when you have this preconceived idea in your
Idea.
head? When I came here, I didn't see any black person. When I came here, the person who owned this property that we bought these properties from is a white person.
Mm.
I just came, looked through, and then just bought the house. And I didn't even think about why. I just later noticed that there are not a lot of black people. That in fact,
Yeah.
there's no single black person on the street. I just noticed later. I wasn't
Yeah.
looking for that. I didn't care about that. I just make friends with people.
What are you looking for? Why are
What am I
so
looking?
fixated on the people you see
Yeah.
on the road?
Yeah, what am I looking for? It was later then I saw a black person and I said hello. I guess this Cameroonian or Congolese guy was, yeah. Then I said, I just went there. I said hello, you're welcome. Like anybody welcome them. I went there, welcome, and we became like friends, good
I don't
neighbor.
know why you are. There's one place when I was living in Leicester. I think it's Market Harbor. If you know Market
Yeah,
Harbor,
I know market him.
everybody I've met within Leicestershire, they will tell you don't go and live in Market Harbor because
Hmm.
they say yes. They say Market Harbor is white people that live there. Don't go there. That place they are racist. Yeah.
My son was born in Leicester actually, in Oldby.
So you
My
see,
first son.
that Market Harbor, and if you go to Market Harbor, it's so organized, so beautiful. Sometimes if you go to charity shop there, you will see nice things.
Of course, of
So
course, of course.
that is the advantage.
Yeah, of course. I don't even think me now. The next property I want to live in will be on a farm
Yeah.
next to nobody. That's what I'm looking for now. On a
Yes.
farm where we have to integrate. It's just like somebody going, an Igbo man or a Yoruba man going to Anambra. I will use that because I think we can relate to that
Mhm.
and refuse to live among Igbos.
Where are you going to live?
But where are you going to live?
Honestly, I think that thing is a very bad mentality
It's
on
a
our
terrible
side.
mentality and it put us at serious disadvantage because how are you going to see opportunities? How are you going to see opportunities? How?
Yeah.
The carpet business I started now is through a white guy.
Yeah.
It's through my friendship with a white guy.
See.
The tape business I'm doing is through a Jewish guy, white. Yeah. My new supplier and all that I got, it was through a Pakistani guy. In
Mm.
fact, I used to do a business when I was at uni because at uni I didn't do any work. I was
Mm.
into business and all. That business, oh my brother, very easy.
Mm.
Just buy something and sell it. Buy it
Mm.
from here, take it from here and give it to you here, and you make double the money. Through a Pakistani guy
Mm.
who I met at uni and we were friends.
Mm.
And when I was young, he said, "Oh, do you want to do this? Tai, I see you're a good guy and blah 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 blah."
Mm.
Because I make friends with everybody. He's a Muslim, a staunch Muslim. You see him with
Yeah.
beard. Always pray 5 times a day.
Mm.
Up to today, we're still close.
Because you did not build a wall around you.
No, no. Why should I? Because I'll put myself at a disadvantage. you know so I think the earlier we understand that, the better.
Yes.
This country is full of honey. You don't have to work 24 hours 24/7 to make it. There are decent job, and I'm sure at some point time is gone
Almost.
now.
Yeah.
Maybe next week or the week after,
Yeah.
we'll talk about the construction industry. I'm really
Yeah.
keen to talk about that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's not just the civil service. There are
No.
other
No.
opportunities in this
Opportunities there.
country that you can look into, and you will be surprised. I have a friend in construction who,
Mm.
when we first came into this country, that was 21 years ago.
Mm.
In fact, I stayed with him. The friend is my brother's friend.
Mm.
He's earning over, I think, about 1,500 every week now. in construction. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's and we started together as laborers.
You see.
And me, I let me, I'm lazy. I'm not. I don't have the strength. I don't have that strength. I'm not good with DIY
Yeah.
carrying things and all that. I don't like it, and I left as a laborer. I went as a laborer. I left as a laborer. But this guy persisted.
Yeah.
So he's been working in construction now for 20 years. In fact, I was the one that was it the one that introduced me, or I was no. He was the one that introduced me. Sorry, he was the one that introduced. No, I was the one that introduced him.
You
I
see.
was the one that introduced him to it because that guy has gone back to Nigeria now. He
Mm.
went back 15 years ago to
Mm.
Nigeria. He was the one that introduced me, and I introduced him, and he's been working since then. And now he hands it back. In fact, I talked to him yesterday, and he was telling me, I'm now in Scotland. I'm doing some work. They book hotel for us.
You
It's been
see.
3 months in Scotland doing a
You
project.
see.
Imagine that. He said, oh, they got like a Airbnb, not hotel, like a Airbnb for them, and they living in a nice. He said, in fact, next week I might go there to see him.
Okay.
Yeah, I might go to see him because if he's in Scotland, it's closer to me than me traveling to.
I think we'll bring him on the show to share
It would
because
be nice to
yeah,
share his
he
experience. I would
will
talk to him
yeah, please.
because he has the experience. He has a
Yeah,
house in London.
you see.
For somebody to buy a house in London, it's not a
Yeah,
small boy.
it's not
Even me, I can't
yeah,
afford buying a house in London. He's a big boy. But you won't know.
you
This
won't know
guy working construction.
because maybe he doesn't have social sense.
I don't think it does, actually. I don't think
Those
it does.
people, most of these guys that work in construction, they are people that are handy. They don't have time.
Yeah.
They
And
don't have
this
time.
guy learn everything here.
Yeah,
Talk about construction is an expert. I am not.
you see.
About 10 years ago, when I did the program on construction, on what's
Mm,
job, blah, 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 he was the one that I went to meet. He couldn't
mm,
come. He was the one I went to meet and downloaded
mm.
and gave to my people.
Yeah.
No talk of any certification or any training, how you get into this, how you get into that. He will tell you,
Wow, that is good.
you know.
Honestly, that is good.
So
So
there's a lot of opportunity. May God
there's
help us.
definitely I will. I think spontaneously we have dragged
Yeah,
to
we
people
went
to which
into something else, but
is actually nice because these are some of the things that nobody talk. People don't talk about the way assimilating into the society,
mhm,
the way we barricade ourselves with preconceived ideas of
yeah,
what we think white people
these people
are.
are thinking.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes when you have made up your mind against somebody, you will not see any good thing about that person.
You won't.
Anything the person is doing, you are looking for a way to justify your mindset against about it.
Yeah, yeah. May
So
God help us.
I
Well,
think
thank you very much.
thank you so
Thank you.
much
It's
for
been
being
really
on the
good
show.
talking to you, and
Yeah,
I can't wait to see this.
yeah. No,
All right.
I will publish it this evening by
All right.
God will.
Okay. Okay.
So
Look
thank you
after
so
yourself.
much,
Thank
bro.
you.
And
All right. All right. Bye now.
we'll convene again. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
definitely. All right. Bye. Bye.